Imagine a world where the line between pleasure and taboo is not just blurred, but completely obliterated. That's the world Lydia and I crafted for ourselves in the heart of London's underground. I'm Adrian, and this is our story. Let me take you back to a time before the world was gripped by chaos. A time when our nights were long, our boundaries limitless, and our hearts free from the constraints of traditional love. It all began on one fateful evening in a secret candlelit room. Chapter 1. Behind closed doors, inside our open marriage. Now I'll admit it, I've got a reputation for living life at full tilt. Evenings out at pulsating London nightclubs, the fizzing, heady cocktail of neon lights and frenetic music were all par for the course. Sexually adventurous? I'd say so. My wife, Lydia, and I were not the type to shy away from new experiences. However, something began to change. Something that even the most adventurous of spirits cannot outrun: time. Our journey began on the cusp of 2020. I remember the countdown, the electric excitement, the anticipation of not just a new year, but a new decade. Who could have known what lay ahead? The throb of the speakers in the underground club where we'd chosen to see in the new year was the pounding heartbeat of our existence. It was around this time that Lydia and I decided to open the doors of our marriage, a thrilling, intoxicating leap into the unknown. It was our very own roaring 20s in every sense. We found ourselves wrapped in a maelstrom of delight and excitement, each night more enticing than the last. I can remember the first time we shared a partner, the initial awkwardness quickly melting away under the soft touch of shared intimacy. And then the first threesome, like an intricate dance guided by the primal force of desire. From the hushed whispers of bondage to the wild abandon of swinging, each experience was a thrilling page in the book of our open marriage. As the charismatic ringmaster of our own private circus, I loved the glint of anticipation in Lydia's eyes, the thrill of our shared experiences. We were Prometheus and Pandora, not merely opening the box, but flinging it wide and reveling in the wonders within. Yet as we danced this exhilarating dance, I noticed the slightest flicker in Lydia's expression, a fleeting shadow that would pass over her face in quiet moments, her laughter a little more forced, her smiles a touch too bright. It was as though she was searching for something I couldn't give her. That's the tricky thing about open doors. They let in all kinds of light, sometimes illuminating the corners of our life that we aren't ready to see. It was an unsettling feeling, like reading a familiar book and suddenly finding a chapter you've never seen before. There was an elusive longing in her eyes, a yearning for something that our adventurous lifestyle could not satisfy. Her restlessness was like a soft, haunting melody, a subtle soundtrack to our thrilling, but increasingly hollow, adventures. As 2020 unfolded, a spectre loomed over the world, the pandemic that brought life as we knew it to a screeching halt. It was as though we'd been in a hedonistic dream and woke up in a dystopian novel. The nightclubs fell silent, the parties stopped, and the city that had been a carnival of delights turned into a ghost town overnight. It was in the silence of the lockdown, the stark contrast to our former life, that Lydia's restlessness became increasingly palpable. Our roaring 20s had turned into a quiet whisper. As the reality of the pandemic unfolded, our lives reduced to the four walls of our apartment, and the high-pitched buzz of the nightly clap for carers replaced the pulsating music of the clubs. It was here, in the stark light of a global crisis, that I started to notice Lydia drifting away. I could not quite put my finger on it, but I felt it in my bones. And little did I know then that the journey we were on was about to take a turn that neither of us had ever anticipated. If you are enjoying this story and wonder how Lydia might have been feeling, you can listen to her side of the story by clicking in the link in the description.
This is chapter 1 of a 6-part short story. The easiest way to watch or listen to the other 5 parts of this story is to either subscribe to the Romance Diaries on YouTube or click on the link in the description below. If you subscribe to the Romance Diaries, you can also enjoy other stories of love, romance, heartache, cheating and betrayal, and by clicking on the notification bell at the same time, we can let you know every time we bring out a new video. And if you would like to experience your own real-life romance, why not click on one of our sponsors, which you will also find in the description.